How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to go and do this mission called Late Inspection. It's one of the ones on Quarry that I've got left over. I don't have to bring any cargo or anything like that, it's just yeah, an excuse to travel there really. So I'm going to cut down the middle main road of Quarry, down to the service area. Carry on. I remember this little section here, like I remember messing around there when I believe I was exploring this map. And yeah, there's just a little road tailing off into the middle of nowhere, and there's just like a little shed and an antenna and stuff there. And yeah, today I'm going to be using the Loadstar because I can't really remember the last time I just used this for a bit of fun. Just chilling around doing a mission. And one reason I really do like this is it's got the truck engine and gearbox, so like already, as soon as you stick it into high gear, it's just quite a nice pace in high gear with the high range gearbox and everything. Like it suits particularly this game pretty well, because if you go too fast in this game you can get like you start skidding and you've not really got a whole lot of control over your truck. But yeah, high range is quite a nice blend. I'll just quickly, I didn't need it, but I wanted to grab a radar trailer because I was like, while I'm already heading down there, there's the last little bottom bit of the map on Quarry that I've not explored. And yeah, I also thought this Loadstar's got it pretty easy, just cruising its way down through the Quarry map, so I'll give it a little bit more of a challenge. I was originally gonna kind of follow the road along and cut through the Zimnegorsk map, because the lower gateway on Zimnegorsk, like that'll take you to Quarry, pops out pretty close really to where I need to go. But in all honesty, I think this route, cutting through Quarry and doing the main bulk of the mission driving over the Quarry map, versus like the road from say the Zimnegorsk garage down to the bottom gateway, it's just a pure muddy road. And I tried a few vehicles out on it, and obviously there's certain things like the Tatran would go down there fine, Dolphin's pretty damn good down there, but it'd be all like the vehicles that I use quite a lot. So just yeah, while I suppose really at the minute I'm just kind of waiting for the mods to be added mainly. The next phase, the next map, like that big dumper truck looks pretty cool. I still want to try the forklift out, it'll still be good for a laugh. There's plenty of things I'll be able to do with a well, it's more of a telehandler. Like it's got forks on it, but it's yeah, not really just a forklift, but that's a good thing. It's pretty cool that it's got an arm on it, and as long as it can lift things properly. Like I said, the large cranes are a little bit gutless, all things considered. I assume though, as far as mods go, like they were originally intending to add mods a lot earlier, and as far as like balancing vehicles and stuff in this game goes, I'm guessing they were just kind of hoping they could add mods earlier and then let people mod whatever, because they haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to tweaking vehicles to fit the game better. And yeah, I was just thinking that myself like the other day. I just wonder if they were kind of like, yeah, we'll just wait till mods are added, but obviously that's took longer than expected. But then every now and then they do these really weird tweaks to the game that just feel like the most irrelevant, unimportant, unneeded tweak. Like a prime example is the Cat 745C, that they updated the back of it so it can't carry like single slot cargo, which to be fair, strictly speaking, with the cargo carrier thing that's on the back, or the container carrier or whatever that's on the back of it, I kind of get it. It looks a little bit like you wouldn't just stack wooden planks on like that, but who really cares? It's like, was the Cat 745C being able to carry 2 pieces of single cargo really like the main thing that needed changing in the game? And I don't know what you'd have to do to the coding to change that. I assume not a whole lot. But then as far as some of these vehicles go with like the tyre grip stats, the engine stats, stuff like that, that's only tweaking a figure in itself anyway. Like people do it themselves. Obviously on PC you can already do that, you just go into the coding. People have changed their money, obviously the horsepower, the tyres and all sorts, so yeah, it's really not hard to do. And it's just funny how they some of the tweaks they do, like I didn't even realise really until yesterday when I was driving that Don 71 that it's only got a 32 litre fuel tank now, which yeah, I don't remember what it's for. I believe somebody said it was about 70 litres before, which makes sense because I remember all the scouts being like roughly around that. Obviously then they nerfed the Car Marshal, and apparently the Don 71 got hit at the same time, which it shows you how little I use it really, because I've never even noticed until yesterday. But yeah, it's just things like that. It's like it's odd really. Like again, it's a brilliant game, but whoever's like, it feels like afterwards, someone who doesn't really play the game, as I've said before, it feels like people in suits who are just in control of like the money aspect of it and have no shits to give about the game. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but at the same time, you know what I mean. It's like some top executive businessman at EA probably has never played an EA game in the last 10 years, doesn't give a shit, wouldn't have a clue what a good game or a bad game is if it went and slapped them in the face. And yeah, that's just what made me think, like, are they just banking on mods to sort all that out? Because, like I said, it's one of the most unneeded balances, in quotations, of doing that to the Cat 745C, but nobody's ever going to mod that in to be a situation in mods, so that's something they would have to correct themselves. Again, no one's, realistically, for any reason, is going to mod the Don 71 to suddenly have a fuel tank half the size, so it's like the things they're doing is what nobody would do in the modding community, whereas they kind of, it feels like they're just leaving everything else to the modding community, which theoretically is a good idea, because it's kind of like the free market will dictate the better mods will be more popular and all the rest of it, but yeah, considering we're like 6 months in, they need to get cracking the whip on that. Anyway, I just did a quick lap of the service area. I remembered I had a F750 there. If you've seen the other day, I was messing around and I flipped it over while I had the crane fully extended. So yeah, just quickly drove in there, tipped him over, went through the service area, got all fixed up, not that I really needed it. Grabbed a bit of fuel, again, didn't particularly need it. The one good thing with this radar trailer, that's got, I think it's like 120 litres of fuel on it, which, I know it uses it as you use the trailer, I believe 20 litres each time, but still. 120 litres coming along with you, it's not far off like the fuel that you get in most roof racks. Suddenly getting all distracted in terror. Oh shit, that was me turn. Yeah, I've been pretty tempted. I nearly went on it the other day on MudRunner, and what I kind of wanted to do, the only thing is there's not really many, if any, that I can think of, vehicles that are like identical from MudRunner to SnowRunner, but as far as like the vehicle mechanics and that go in this game, it's I might go on MudRunner soon and just, I may end up doing a video, like whether I do or not, I'll just go on it for my own sanity and go and see what it's like, because yeah, as someone was mentioning in the comments earlier, I was talking to someone the other day about it as well, where like MudRunner seemed to have more weight to the vehicles and it was like more realistic the way they behaved. By the way, just here, if you can see, at some point I just stuck it in low. Like, I find really that, I don't know, there's not enough oomph in low. Like, I tend to get through places like that just leaving it in auto, not because the auto is better. I believe there is a slight favour towards low range as far as grip goes, but the revs aren't there because of rev caps and everything. So it's like, even though you kind of get that more torquey effect, I suppose, they're trying to do with the game, yeah, you don't really quite get the revs there. Another thing, while I'm just rambling away while we're cruising along, I've been wanting, I'll probably do it at some point, is going on Grand Theft Auto 5, because one thing I used to do on there quite a lot, partly in and around when I was playing MudRunner and that as well, before this game ever came out, I like stealing 4x4s off people, doing them up, and going off up Mount Chiliad. And I had this nice little route that I used to climb all the way up Mount Chiliad and then do this like jump off the top, and there's kind of like a little valley down the side of the mountain, if that makes sense, and you can go absolutely flying down there in a 4x4. Every now and then you can whack it too hard and you blow the truck up and you die, but that's kind of the fun of it. So yeah, I might have to start playing around with some of these other games for the sakes of, I don't know, really, looking for that realistic experience. Like, I am practically convinced that since this game came out, they've been slowly dialing up what essentially turns out to be like unrealism to extend the length of the game. Like, the tyres are just feeling a little bit, well, not more than a little bit in some cases, unrealistic, the weight characteristics and all the rest of it, but I'm not sure if I've just played enough of the game and I'm like more focused on the actual handling of the vehicles, or if they've slowly been altering it a little bit. But it doesn't necessarily mean like the stats of the tyres have changed. Like, one thing, as most people remember when they added Lake Coved, the whole super snow issue started, and a lot of people started noticing that, yeah, they've gone over the top with the snow, so they can adjust the terrain stats as well. And I assume, well, once you've got like the coding and the stats of the tyres, it then will probably factor into the terrain, and there'll be some calculations, multiplying, dividing, whatever, and it'll end up with some kind of figure that translates how well you can grip. So they could still change the terrain figures, that would alter the tyre figures, but without actually altering the tyre, or it'd alter the results of the tyre figures, if that makes sense, without actually changing the stats themselves. Got here, flat out into the shed. Turns out you can't break it down. Yeah, not a lot of money or anything, definitely not a lot of XP. It was just a pure excuse to go for a little exploring mission, really. And like I say, I brought the radar trailer while I'm down here. Now I'm just going to go for a little cruise. I still wanted to head further down the map. But it was also, again, I do like this Loadstar. It's a pretty solid truck as far as like in this game goes. It's actually one of the more nicely balanced trucks, just in terms of, you'll see with grip, I wouldn't say so much. It's not strictly this though, it's just like the chain tyres. But yeah, as far as the weight characteristics and everything it goes, it does feel like a pretty nice truck. And because they have actually given it the a truck engine and gearbox, like, I'm surprised they've not done that with more vehicles, really. But again, are they just leaving that down to like the modders? Obviously, for us on console, we're still waiting, but for everyone on PC, they've at least got the chance. I see some people in the comments that play on PC that say, yeah, they don't want to touch the mods for various reasons. Some don't like mods, some don't need them, whatever. Which, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, obviously they've got the option if they want to. But it definitely shows, like, as far as mods go, they lean one way. It's like improving vehicles, or in quotations, improving vehicles. It's usually upping something about the vehicles. Like, this game's certainly catered to the slow end of things, but well, it's not really about like the speed. I mean, you look at some of my favourite vehicle is the Loaf. The Dolphin is second, but then you've got other vehicles like the P16. I do like the Collobs as well. Obviously, the Tatrin is a slight. I like it, but it's very slow. If it was a little bit faster, then yeah, I'd that definitely fly up my list. But as far as like eating the terrain up and that, the Tatrin is practically unbeatable. It's almost bordering on, ironically, it almost goes full circle, and it's boring in the sense of like there's not a whole lot to do, or you just squeeze the throttle and you go, which for many situations is pretty handy. So I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying they should nerf the Tatrin or anything. Stop that. But yeah, it's just funny how, like you say, you got to find that balance. But I would say the Loaf is a goddamn horse of a vehicle, but it actually feels, because it's got quite a lot of weight in it, for what it is anyway, it handles pretty nicely. Like I said, that Don 71 yesterday, there's a lot of places well, not a lot of places actually, sorry, I'll take that back, but there's quite a lot of times between when I'm making videos, I'm just messing around, that I do get like the Don out. And that's why there was one already sat in the water, really, at the White Valley thing. Like I said, flying down the runway, flying down certain roads, it motors along pretty damn nicely. And it's not the only vehicle. The TUZ-166, I don't really use that a lot. That is pretty damn fun, again, flying down roads. But once you just clip a bit of terrain, it'll yank your whole vehicle to the side and all sorts. And yeah, it's, like I said, that guy was telling me about putting Tatrin wheels on the R87. That's looking for me like that's the area I'll be wanting to explore when they actually add mods, like fixing the tyre situation out, possibly adjusting the weight stats of some vehicles. But if the tyres, it sounded like from what that guy was saying that it made a bloody big difference. So yeah, that's looking like the main area to go. I don't know, I'm assuming on console I'll probably have access to mods. I don't know how much I'll get in the way of actually tweaking my own mods, but I don't really mind that. Look, now I wasn't paying attention, I was just looking. Nice big fat hump in the road that got me looking like, well, fair enough. I'll give you that one game. It was a bit of a rant. Luckily for me, I've got a goddamn horse of a vehicle sat nearby. See, he's always ready. He's waiting. Yeah, I don't know how much I'll get to actually mess around with mods, because again, I'm on a console, it's like a console menu, so I don't know. I could probably, if it allowed me, go into the game and adjust like very simple basic stats of the Loadstar or the Loaf or whatever. But yeah, I mean, either way, it doesn't really bother me, because I don't know about coding and all that stuff, so unless it just said, you know, here's the horsepower or whatever, delete that and type a new number, and it's like, I'm lost now. How the hell people program completely different looking trucks in? How the hell someone makes something just look like a Toyota Hilux and adds it into the game? I have no idea. I respect it, it's impressive, I wish I knew how, but I just don't. I don't have a clue. So even the loaf, he tipped over there because I ramped over a tree, but still flips himself back up with no problem. And that is yet again why I enjoy the loaf, because it just never stops. Fun keeps going. You see, when I rolled this Loadstar, if I didn't have this loaf nearby, what other option would I have? Disconnect the trailer, travel back to Zimnegorsk, drive all the way back, but because I was just a goddamn professional chilling at the lake that he now owns, I might add. Just my own curiosity, I reversed full lock over that bump. Like, you see, Loadstar, you just need some loaf training. I mean, as far as like flipping that goes, most things probably wouldn't struggle, but we've all seen the loaf in action, so someone's saying, oh, it was probably a week or two ago in the comments that the loaf isn't very good. Like, have you not seen? There's about 150 examples of the loaf being a goddamn beast, flipping Derry Longhorns, dolphins, colobs, all sorts of stuff. It's like, I still, touch wood, have a 100% rescue record every single time I've attempted to rescue something with the loaf. It's been successful. Yeah, I'm pretty much past the mission now. I was just driving down to the bottom corner. There's the ship that's crashed. You can see my Taiga in the distance. Yeah, I got here. This is where I just wanted to mention with the tyres getting a little bit less grip than I expected. Right now, I was like, really? I didn't think I'd get stuck quite that easily. You can see it's sinking down a bit now. Now though, that really doesn't help. Probably not helping with the radar trailer on the back. You can see after I winched forward and everything though, even what looked like grass was just turning into big swampy deep channels once I was actually driving through it. So just quickly though, while I'm down here, yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, we'll just give the trailer a quick go. Reminds me of that plant off Little Shop of Horrors. Can't remember its name off the top of my head now. And yeah, in typical fashion, I made it this far, managed to recover most of the map, but one last little corner, just to be a wanker. But anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.